what made you want to do American television again?
You know, this is really a beautiful time in television. There is spectacular writing happening, and I think with the advent of you know, box sets and iTunes and Netflix, people are able to watch television in a way that we haven't been accustomed to. You know, DVR, you don't miss episodes anymore. I feel like the writers really have an element of control, which, you know, in the movie space now, we're much more about kind of big events and small independent films. In television, you get to tell a story and you have time and you can really explore characters, and that's very exciting for any actor.
Was this a tough role to get? Because it seems like so many good actors like yourself are coming to television now, like people who you would have expected to see in cool, smart films.
Well, I was extremely lucky when it came to this role because I actually did very little to come by it. They approached me, and that is always the dream. And you know, I met with Glenn Morgan, who's the creator of the show. Well, he's not the creator of the show because it's a Danish show, but he's the person who he's the person who's sort of taken it on. And actually, we've departed pretty significantly from the original Danish version. And he outlined what he hoped to do with it, and honestly, it was exciting. I thought, this is exactly the kind of area of drama that I would like to be able to explore.
Okay, so dark stuff is totally your bag for this point in time. This is a dark show.
It's an extremely powerful show, and it's pretty, I would say it's compelling because we deal with very gray moral areas, and we deal with, you know, we walk the fine line of sanity, which for me, I feel like if you catch me on a bad day, yeah, I can have some pretty twisted thoughts. I never do anything about any of it, but you know, it scares me, and I think as an audience, we quite like exploring that territory. You know, I mean, if you think of The Silence of the Lambs, which is probably the most famous film that talked about serial killers. Yeah. We were absolutely fascinated by it. You know, people love to be frightened. Actually, the truth is, I can't watch a horror movie. And this isn't that. This is more of a psychological drama. But I think we really like getting into the kind of dark crevices of what we as human beings may or may not be capable of.
So you play Thomas, who is sometimes a consultant for the police and also a professor. What is his area of expertise then?
Well, I played Professor Thomas Schaefer, who is a forensic psychologist, and he's a professor who specializes in doing theses on serial killers. And he has a sort of skill at placing himself inside the mind of these people, which is what helps him to sort of try and track some of them down. Okay. And he's completely driven by making the world a better place. He just happens to have this skill, which is very useful when you're dealing with these extremely difficult situations, you know.
How far is he willing to go using, you know, putting yourself into the mind of a serial killer in investigating cases?
That's exactly the thing that's exciting about him, because honestly, we don't know. And we see in the pilot, he already does something which is kind of not cool in order to try and get into the mind of this guy. And for me, one of the really compelling things about doing the show was, well, where does that lead him? You know, and honestly, I can't tell you because first I can't spoil the show, but you know, it really takes him into some very difficult places. And he has a beautiful wife and a child. And that situation is not it's a happy marriage until he does something that makes it slightly less than happy.
Right, he's got a partner now. Chloe's character, Catherine, brings him back into the police force for help. What does he see in her? What does he like about her as a detective? She's a little unhinged as well.
Well, I think they have a kind of meeting of the minds, Thomas and Catherine.
Unconventional. Both unconventional.
I think they're both genuinely flawed characters, and although they come at it from different angles, they just kind of get each other very quickly. They are able to see through each other's, you know, fronts and through to who they really are. And they're both extremely driven and passionate about what they do. And despite the fact that we deal with these extremely dark subjects, I think the really exciting thing about the show is that it's the mystery of Catherine and Thomas, and who are they, and where did they go?
Yeah.
That is hopefully what will keep people coming back.
So will it be kind of a case of the week, serial killer of the week that they're going to be doing?
No, it doesn't
Okay.
work week to week.
Is it 10 episodes?
It's 10 episodes, and really the main story is kind of revealed in the pilot, which is that
Her story.
Chloe's character is looking for a particular person, or trying to find out information about a particular person, and so that's the umbrella that runs over the whole thing. And then within that, we then have, she's a cop, so we have to find certain other people, but it doesn't happen week by week.